The three-eyed goddess was adorned with the crescent moon. Her multiple arms held auspicious weapons and emblems, jewels and ornaments, garments and utensils, garlands and rosaries of beads, all offered by the gods. With her golden body blazing with the splendor of 1,000 suns, seated on her lion vehicle, Durga is one of the most spectacular of all personifications of cosmic energy. A tremendous power is poised ready for the grim battle to wipe out demonic forces. The Asuras, whose exaggerated ego sense is destroying the balance of the universe, and whose sole purpose is to dominate and control. It's the universal war between knowledge and ignorance, truth and falsehood, the oppressor and the oppressed. The world shook and the seas trembled as the goddess engaged the great demon Mahishasura and his hosts in fierce battle, creating her own female battalions from her sighs breathed during the fighting. When the battle was over, the Devi had destroyed the demon's army, symbolic of disruptive aggression. Enraged by her victory, Mahishasura took on buffalo form to overcome the goddess. Repeatedly, the goddess slew the buffalo demon, and each time he transformed himself into a new and more deadly shape. Then, with the strength of spiritual energy gained from drinking from the wine cup charged with spiritual force, the goddess struck the demon head from the buffalo body. The chief demon, Mahishasura, was dead, and the gods praised the goddess, joyfully worshipping her with flowers, incense, and fragrant paste. But this victory was not the end of the episode. Two other powerful Asuras, Sumba and Nisumba, had deprived the gods of their divine functions, and once more the gods prayed to the goddess. The goddess did not yield at once to this masculine adoration. Instead, she projected her feminine psyche from her body to enable her to evaluate their prayers in her own shadow self. Being convinced through her own senses, she projected an overwhelming omnipotence and stationed herself on Mount Himalaya. There, Kanda and Munda, servants of the powerful demons Sumba and Nisumba, came upon her being a surpassingly charming form. They returned and told Sumba, "O king, a most beautiful woman dwells there, shedding a radiance on Mount Himalaya. Never has such beauty been seen. Find out who the goddess is, O Lord, and take possession of her." A jewel of exquisite limbs, illumining the four quarters with her luster, O Lord of demons, all the precious gems, the elephants, horses, and treasures of the three worlds have been brought together in your house. Why is this beautiful jewel of a woman not seized by you? This time, the goddess was met not with confrontation, but with the masculine tactics of seduction to disarm her with flattery. Sumba sent the great demon Sugriva to the Devi to win her, commanding him, "Tell her this and this. Speak to her in such a manner that she will quickly come to me in love." The messenger went to the beautiful place in the mountains where the Devi was staying and spoke sweet words to her. "O Devi, Sumba, Lord of Demons, is sovereign over the three worlds. Lend your ear to the words of him whose command is never resisted by the Devas, and who has vanquished all the demons' foes. His words are thus: the three worlds are mine, and the gods obey me. All the choicest gems in the three worlds are mine. O beautiful lady, jewel of womankind, come to us, for we are enjoyers of the best. Come to me and to my valiant younger brother Nisumba. Wealth beyond compare will be yours by marrying me. Reflect upon this and become my wife." The Devi replied serenely, "What you say is true. Sumba is indeed sovereign of the three worlds, and so is Nisumba. But how shall what I have promised be made false? Hear the promise I have made to myself in my foolishness. He who conquers me in battle, who removes my pride, who is my match for strength here in the world, he shall be my husband. So let Sumba come here, or the great Ashura Nisumba. Let him vanquish me here, and he may soon claim my hand in marriage. "O Devi," answered the messenger, "you are haughty. Do not speak so. What man in the three worlds can stand out against Sumba and Nisumba? Not even Indra and all the gods can withstand the Ashuras in battle. How should you, a woman, stand against them? Take my advice and go to Sumba and Nisumba. Do not lose your dignity by being dragged to them by your hair." The Devi answered, "It's true. Sumba is strong, and Nisumba is exceedingly valiant. But what can I do, since my unthinking vow was taken so long ago?" The messenger returned, filled with indignation, and related to the demon king what the Devi had said. The king, enraged, ordered his army chieftain to make haste to bring this shrew to me by force. Drag her to me by the hair. Finding the goddess standing on the snowy mountainside, the chieftain ordered her to come to Sumba and Nisumba immediately. "If you will not come to my lords now with pleasure, I shall take you by force, and in distress as you are dragged by your hair." The Devi answered that, since the chieftain came accompanied by an army, "If you'll take me by force, what can I do?" The demon chief thereupon rushed forward. Durga reduced him to ashes with a mere sound, a supersonic whoom, while her spirited and angry lion destroyed the Ashura's army. When Sumba learned that his chief and army had been destroyed, he commanded his servants Kanda and Munda to go with a large force to bring the Devi to him speedily, dragging her by the hair, injured or in fetters if need be. Fully armed and led by Kanda and Munda, the Ashuras marched to where the Devi, smiling gently, was seated upon her lion on a high golden peak of the mountain. Upon seeing her, some of the demons excitedly tried to capture her, while others approached her with their bows bent and swords drawn. Thereupon Durga became terrible in her anger, and her countenance darkened until it was black as ink. From her frowning forehead issued the awesome goddess Kali, armed with a sword and a noose. Holding a skull-topped staff, skull garlanded, wrapped in a tiger skin, emaciated, wide-mouthed, lolling-tongued, with deep-sunken red eyes, Kali filled the skies with her roar. Laughing terribly, she devoured the demon army, flinging the elephants into her mouth along with their riders, crunching up chariots and horses with her teeth, crushing others with her feet, striking with her sword, and beating with her staff until the army was laid low. The great demon Kanda unleashed a hail of arrows, and Munda hurled discuses by the thousand, hiding the fierce Devi, until they vanished into her mouth. At this, Kali, roaring frightfully, her sharp teeth gleaming, laughed with intense rage. Mounting her great lion, she rushed at Kanda, and seizing him by the hair, severed his head with her sword. Seeing Kanda cut down, Munda next rushed towards her. She felled him to the ground, striking with her sword in fury. With the brave Kanda and Munda fallen, the rest of the army fled in all directions. Kali carried the heads to Durga, saying, "I bring you the heads of Kanda and Munda, two great animal offerings in this sacrifice of battle. Sumba and Nisumba you yourself shall kill." Sumba himself now set out against the Devi with even larger numbers. Hearing the army advancing, Durga made a mighty sound, plucking her bowstring and ringing her bell. The lion roared. Kali filled the four quarters with the syllable Shakti energies of all the gods emanated from their bodies, armed with weapons and mounted for the battle. The Devi appointed a woman to be messenger between Shiva and the demons. Then the demon army was pierced through, slashed, put to flight with holy water, pursued as it fled by the violent laughter of Shiva. The mighty demon Raktabiha remained. From the blood shed from his wounds sprang thousands of fresh combatants, representing the destructive masculine principle. To annihilate this archetypal power, Kali again and again drank this seed blood, thereby taking possession and rendering harmless this overpowering destructive element, this phallic power. Following this dreadful battle, the Devi slew the demon Nisumba. Finding his brother dead, Sumba said to the goddess, "O Durga, you are puffed up with pride in your strength, but don't show your pride to me. You are exceedingly haughty, but you resort to other strengths to fight." Taunted by Sumba for battling with the strength of her female host, Durga did not fall into the trap. She drew the multiple forms of the female divinities into her nourishing breasts, into her mothering womb, exercising the powers of protection and preservation without which she would not be the feminine. The Devi answered, "The many forms that I projected by my own powers are withdrawn into myself. Here I stand alone. Now, fight steadfastly." Goddess and demon fought first with their weapons and then hand to hand in close combat. Seizing the Devi, Sumba sprang up and mounted high into the sky. They fought as never before, astonishing the Siddhas and the sages, until at last Sumba fell, pierced by her dart. All the gods, their objective gained, and their faces radiant with joy, praised the goddess. The world was at peace again. The skies cleared, the rivers kept their courses, there was sweet singing and dancing, the winds blew softly, the sun shone brilliantly, the sacred fires burned steadily. Strange sounds that had arisen in the various quarters died away. The departing Durga offered the gods a boon. She promised that as Sakumbari she would nourish the world in time of need with the vegetation grown from her own body, and that in her terrible form she would deliver her worshippers from their enemies and bless them. Then she vanished from the very spot on which the gods were gazing.